an example to the rest of us, someone else that was in our age range that understood the generation that we were in, and he was an example to us that we don't have to be afraid, that we can stand up for our beliefs eloquently and peacefully without fear.
His intention was to keep free speech prevalent and operational on college campuses where it should be most protected, right? That's what a university is for.
And a lot of the problems today is because there's two sides to every story, but both sides won't respect the other side's opinion. And I think it's tragic what happened to Charlie Kirk. What a wonderful young man he was.
Really to commemorate his life, what he stood for, what he stood against, and really an end to political violence, because it shouldn't be that we should live in a world where, just for having an opinion, we should be killed. I think that's abhorrent, and it's a really negative turn for Western civilization.
That we will all start speaking out. We will all become a Charlie.
Malia, Charlie was a leader. Why was his movement and message able to resonate with people, not just in the United States, but as we just saw there, around the world?
I think because he simply spoke the truth and he spoke common sense values, and that transcends even political ideology, or it should. And people find solace in someone that is willing to forge ahead and say what might be unpopular because it's true and because the truth matters. And I think that in a world as crazy as ours right now, I know something Charlotte said earlier was kind of the last normal year it feels like that we had was 2019. And so for the past 5 years, just insane things have been happening, whether it's been, targeted assassinations of our president or of prominent political leaders like Charlie, or, masking our children and locking down businesses, and just nonsensical things that have been happening for 5 years at this point. I think people look to what is true and what is right, and Charlie was the embodiment of that. And I know we, just showed a few clips, and we're rolling tapes of vigils across the country and across the world. And I just wanted to let everyone know, if they're in the DC area, that we are having a DC vigil for Charlie tomorrow at 6 p.m. The location is yet to be announced, but you can find it online. My Twitter, Malia, MALIA _Shirley, SHIRLEY, or I'll let Charlotte plug her as well. We have the registration link there, and registration is required, and it will be safe and secure, and we hope that anyone in the DC area will come celebrate Charlie's life and legacy with us.
Charlotte, as somebody who participated at Turning Point, you've seen this movement grow beyond our nation, with Charlie's message, spreading across the world. I actually was getting text messages this morning from people in South Korea, absolutely devastated by it, and they're having their own vigils there and parades and marches just for Charlie Kirk in South Korea. How has he been able to penetrate and touch people from all across? And tell us a little bit more about what people can expect at that vigil right here in the nation's capital tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's astounding to watch Charlie's influence, and it has absolutely exploded into this massive event. And, that honestly is just me and Malia going back to our roots and doing what we know best, which is, mobilizing people, getting them engaged, getting them involved. And we don't know there's nothing else we know how to do except do that and to honor Charlie's legacy. So please come. My Twitter is @_Charlotte Press. I'm pretty sure that's the right one. Just CharlottePerez. And so we definitely look forward to seeing everybody there, and looking forward to it.
And it sounds like it's going to be a message of hope and love and peace. And it's funny too, Charlotte, as you mentioned, Charlie's political prospects. When you look back and think of everything that he's achieved, which is so much, he wasn't even of legal age to be the president of the United States or run for president, and wasn't going to be there for quite some time. 35 the age, died at 31. Amid her grief, Mrs. Erica Kirt reflected on Charlie's legacy and said the work he began will continue. Here's a look.
If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country. In this world, you have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die.
Charlotte, we heard from Charlie's widow, Erica, that we just saw and heard from right there last night. A lot of questions that many in the conservative circle were wondering is, we're going to carry the torch, but who would be the torch bearer? Erica Kirt, extremely powerful words. How can Charlie continue to be an inspiration as supporters take up his mission?
I think Erica said it perfectly. Charlie has an army of people behind him who are ready to go to war for him at any date and time, and that has not changed, and that will never change. Charlie's inspiration. I think we saw that we've had 18,000 people reach out to people over at Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action. How can we get involved? Or Turning Point Action. My old coworkers are telling me today they've had so many people apply to come into work for Turning Point. We've had multiple students reach out about how to create a chapter on campus. I don't know if it's possible to create more chapters. They cover everywhere. So, I think that's going to be incredible to watch. I mean, the movement is only just beginning. And like Erica said, they have no idea what they have unleashed. And she is speaking the truth. They watched us back in November, 24, after they tried to take out our incredible president, and they watched us get him across the finish line no matter what. They are going to see a vengeance from the conservative movement and from the Turning Point family like they've never seen. And quite frankly, I'm very excited for it.
To that point, Malia, Charlie launched Turning Point out of his parents' garage as an 18-year-old with no money, no name recognition, really just a thought and a dream. Since then, Matt from Turning Point USA has a message out on X saying that they have 18,000 new chapter requests since Erica spoke. He said that Turning Point had 9,000 college chapters and 1,100 high school chapters prior to this. Really an astronomical uptick of requests for chapters. Where do you see Turning Point USA going from here?
The only place to go is forward. And as Charlotte said, there are so many people committed to continuing Charlie's legacy. Of course, Erica will be such a prominent part of this, and everyone in the current Turning Point family, but everyone who, might have been a little politically apathetic before, this has ignited something within people, the likes of which we have never seen. And as Charlotte said, I look forward to seeing people's involvement, seeing the way that they get involved through establishing chapters, signing up with their local county parties, chasing ballots in midterms next year, whatever that looks like, whatever their abilities and strengths and talents and capacities are. Charlie was an example. He started Turning Point with nothing out of his parents' garage, and he is the epitome of what it means to work hard, to put your nose to the grindstone, and as he always said, be better, work harder. And that's what we're going to continue to do, and that's what everyone who knew him, loved him, or even just admired him and looked to him, we're all going to do it for him.
Charlotte Perez, Malia Shirley, we just want to thank you sincerely for coming on at this really difficult moment as you continue to mourn a very close friend that you knew so well. We really appreciate your perspective tonight. And we're going to leave the audience tonight with a clip from a tribute video for Charlie Kirk put out by the White House earlier yesterday.
Only in America is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it. Take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Stay involved. Trust God and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse. That God will use all things, for good for those who love him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember that. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. You are here to make somebody else's life better, the pursuit of liberty and freedom. You know what gives me strength?
From the nation's capital in Washington, D.C., I'm Steve Lance. Thank you so much for joining us tonight to honor Charlie Kirk's short life of remarkable conviction. As we mourn his loss, we come together to carry his legacy forward, to heal division through open discussion, and to turn to faith amid confusion.
There are real consequences to controlled media. And NTD's founders